Okay. All right. You want to give us a little intro? Well, I guess I know who you are. You've been in the guild for a long ass time. How long? Probably like 2 years or something?
Maybe even more.
Maybe longer? Yeah, maybe like 3, 4 years. Yeah. I feel like you've been in
Actually,
there.
when I made this account progression, I saw my last one
Mm-hmm.
when I was like 235 trying to skip Absol because it was actually hard back then
Okay.
with a fake arcane, everything epic.
Oh, the
It's
fake.
been a
The
fucking
first fake
while.
arcane, probably, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, that's got to be at least like 3 years ago then.
Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
fucking minute.
That's a yeah. That's all. That's a whole lot of generations of Maplers ago. Well, and you've been soloing the Tenebris bosses, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to, not exclusively, not
Mm-hmm.
like giga solo progression stuff, but I try to do what I can. I
Mm-hmm.
probably can do hard dark now and Vihila, but kind of hard. And
Yeah, it gets progressively
both
harder,
hand.
right, as you get him lower down.
Yeah, it's mostly the hand,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, everything below that I solo. See Gloom, see Slime,
Mm-hmm.
and these two I just party up on the recruit or whatever.
For Vihela, right?
Yeah, Vihila and Dark
Because
now.
you did clear her, but it's like a really long fight.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Not yet. I do like 2 attempts a week or
Mm-hmm.
something whenever I can.
So is the
Mostly
solo
the hand.
attempts? Is the solo attempts more just to try to feel more competent and more confident
Yeah,
when
just
you're doing
like
boss? Okay.
practice.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I mean, it is. You'll also notice that the boss fight does get a bit different if you're soloing versus with people, right? Like
Yeah, it is.
positioning of the boss, and I think
Yeah,
especially as an Adele, because you're using noble summons and bloom, and you're using ruin, hopefully as much as possible. If you're doing Vihela like with other people and they're moving around the map and she teleports out of your damage, that's that must be pretty annoying, right?
yeah, it's annoying,
So that's
but
one
it's
way
also
that a boss
slightly
can
easier.
like last longer when you're soloing, but can be easier in a way because it's more reliable and more predictable when you're soloing it. But of course, yeah, it takes way longer to kill it.
Yeah, yeah, true.
And then whatever you feel like, you would just want to get a quick clear and get it over with. If you have enough practice experience, you can probably do enough to just survive and then get through the run. Yeah. Okay. And you are soloing Gloom, Slime. So how much
Yeah,
would you say you're? Do you feel like you're spending right amount of time per week bossing, or maybe a little bit much, or you can add more?
I like bossing, so I don't mind it.
Okay.
I feel like I spend fine amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like not doesn't feel too much.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So that's good progress. And then you're almost to 75, right? Did I remember that correctly?
270.
Oh, to 70. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. So is Black Mage coming in your
Yeah,
rear view, your front view mirror?
I'm very much looking for a party and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I did a few practice runs, like maybe 5. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying to practice whenever I see recruit parties on the boss UI.
Yep. And within the guild and within the Discord, if you found people
Yeah,
there
yeah.
that wanna run?
I mean, uh, some people said there's practice runs on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm not sure how that's going, but I haven't seen it. I'm not sure if they skipped it or where it is.
Yeah, they usually just check and see if there's enough people online for it. Well, basically, because I was doing, I was starting to do duos, right, with someone, and then, well, one with Andrew from the guild, another one with Misery Courts from the guild, because I wanted my characters to have, have like a nice crystal and also just for the ring boxes essentially, and to help other people get the badge, because I don't need the badge on those characters, but other people do. So I wanted to give them a faster run, and give them priority on the badges. But then we were thinking, we can also, if it's 2 runs, 4 slots available per run, like that's 8 people that we could take with us. So I was like checking who wants to, who might want to go along, but I want to make sure I take people who have some practice so that they know the boss fights, so that they don't get kicked all over the places, because then I get lasered into oblivion. That's not very, even for a shorter run, that can actually get you into trouble a little bit if the other people have no idea what they're doing on Black Mage. So we were going to be like, okay, well, you guys want to join, but there's, you need to build more practice, so we did some practice runs with them. But then we ended up with like 8 or so people in that bulk who wanted to join, which would be enough for 2 people, but they only, every single time there was practice, had like 5 or 6 people show up. So I was like, what if you 6 people together don't just form a party, and you guys, and then I could go keep on looking for more people. But the idea is kind of that people who want to get started, but maybe, don't have quite the damage yet, that they can join for like the first run or the first 2 runs or something, and to get started on the journey to liberation, and then hopefully find their own full-fledged party along the way that they can liberate with then later. But it's a bit of a different process, right? Back in the day, it was like same group of friends, it was like on the same level, and who fights hard and practices, and then finally gets the clears and does the whole 8-month journey together, and then all liberate at the same day. But now, any party you join, someone's already liberated, someone's like on month 6, 2 people are on month 3, right? It's all over the place.
Yeah.
That's pretty normal now. But I use the class Discord. No, not the class Discord. Sorry, the boss Discord. We've got a room there for Black Mage where you can ask. I know there's like Coors in there, but I don't. It's not that I don't want people to go in there, but I don't want there to be like 16 different Discords with like slightly different sized groups that do exactly the same thing, But yeah, usually they just check on Saturday evenings, like who's available for practice, and then they just all kind of like jump in and see if they have enough people to form a party, and then just do some practice as long as people want to. But that could be a more structured thing. That's usually on Saturday at like -3, I think. Let me check, because I am in there. Black Majors.
Yeah, I think I'm there too. I just haven't seen people on Saturday.
Oh no, you're in there. Yeah. You joined in there. So there's some teams. Yeah, and then they ended up with more than a certain amount of people, so they ended up double. They ended up making a second party and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the Black Majors one. I think you joined it recently.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so for the practice, you can message like Nubi or Sakura or your Shell. If they're doing but yeah, I guess they're trying to. It's difficult, right? Because you have time zones, you have amount of time. Like, can you do a bunch of practice in a row? Can you just do one practice here or there? Do you have all your buffs available? Do we have actually 6 people, right? There's a Black Mage is tricky, but you have more and more people becoming available to do those runs. So it's becoming more and more acceptable to just like have that as a reasonable goal without without it being too positive. Like, oh, I'll just go run into Black Mage. That's actually more reasonable now to say like, let's pick up some people and just give it a go. But you've gotten a few practice runs so far?
Yeah, I did like around 6 or 5 practice runs.
Mm-hmm. But all with randos in the...
Yeah, just randoms in
pugs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I mean, first phase, everyone just fucking burst it. Second phase, it's mostly pretty easy. Third phase is the one where I died the most, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The ducking and staying inside the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't get to the fourth.
Okay. And and the thing is, because the thing for P3 is synergy, right? Everyone needs to be on the same page and needs to get it right. Because if you don't, boss starts moving around, boss starts targeting people out of range. You get the extra lasers. Him moving out of position makes it harder to dodge to the right if you need to, or you get pushed to the left into the reverse balls, which is a whole lot of a nightmare. So you really want to keep him in that sweet spot. If you have a slow, that's really useful, right? Because then even if he gets to move, he moves only a little bit. And if you're dodging, you want to try to dodge for as short of a time as possible. So you dodge at the latest moment, and then you go back at the earliest moment, so that there's the least amount of time that there's nothing, no one on top of him like holding aggro, and then you reduce the chance of him moving out of position, and then everyone can get closer. Because you want to be able to keep the top right as a, you know, and float around there as a safety for rolling and stuff like that. But if he moves to the right, because everyone moves away immediately, then he has more time to move over. If he gets to the right, he can kick you out of the air, and now you don't have safety there anymore. Now you all need to go to the left to reset, which means you all go out of range, which means you get another super laser extra, right? So it's fixable, but it's better to prevent him going there in the first place. So it's all about feeling like how many attacks can you get in until he does the kick animation, right, and gets you out. And also when you're setting up your burst, like how many in between kick periods do you need to actually set up your burst? Might be probably at least 2, but probably 3, right? Until you get everything set up and just not greed. Because usually damage is not the problem. The problem is greeding and losing out of lives, and then, you know, that tilting you in some way or feeling unfair, and it will feel unfair, and you will get hit by a bunch of stuff that you feel like you dodge, especially in the beginning. But this means that you need to play a little bit more safe, yeah. Have you seen that the kick simulator?
No.
It's like a little mini game that a guy made. He made the same things for Will as well. It's like really silly and really rudimentary, but I think if you play that a bunch, I think you truly will get a lot better at it. It probably should be like mandatory. You should be able to send like a screenshot or something of getting like a certain score on this if you want to join a party. Because you're basically just trying to get as many attacks in as possible within like a time period, with getting kicked like as little as possible.
Right.
You see there, I greeted an extra attack. And you also see the suck animation, and your character also gets sucked there, so you learn that part as well. A lot of times after a suck, there's immediately a kick as well. So it's a good habit forming to be just on the lookout for that.
Okay, I'll do that.
I mean, it's pretty silly, but once you know like how long your attack animation is, and it's just something about the, you know, learning the timing, because there's a lot of stuff going on, right? So if that's something that you can move from being like an active thing you need to look at to something that you just kind of like subconsciously already react to, then you can respond much more in kind to all the other stuff, and you can see the pattern better between like, okay, these rollings are coming, these supers, it's like, when is FMA, you know, there's so much stuff going on. And just in general, don't get scared by the, you know, now I'm doing 2 things at once, multitask door over here. If you see those blue lasers in general, you can just tank those. Those are not super scary, but it's those pink lasers that get you, right? And then yeah, party composition. Secondary to that, once everyone's got the basics down, then party composition does matter a bit. You can get out of P1 very quickly with just like a few origins, and you can throw some origins into P2. You can start thinking about, you know, using origins whenever the bind is off, and that people kind of like, if you just have a full like damager party, then you can just do it whenever whenever someone has an origin, right? Because then he's just going to be stunned more in total. That'll make the boss fight a bit easier. But yeah, with origins and everything, the boss fight has definitely changed a bit, and power creep for everyone. Have you done your BA for BM to see where you're at?
No, I haven't done that. How do people do that? Like, what's the setup?
So if you check exclamation mark BA, there's a thing there, a, what do you call it, a form? Yes. Where if you fill it in, you can basically get the info. So let's say you're Adele, you're doing a bossing BA, and I'll have the info here. So if you're doing a black mage BA, you can just put these settings, and then you can see the numbers that you want to aim for, to see like where you're at, if you see if you can join the runs, or if people ask like what your BA is, then you can, yeah. So it's a damage in billions per second, probably since Origins over a full 6-minute rotation. That's most likely what people are going to be looking for, because you can't really consistently bind the boss for super long, right? So then it's more of a DPM check basically, which is good for Adele because the boss doesn't really disappear a lot, so you can hit a lot of your noble summons and your blooms and your ruins pretty much all the time. So that is very useful for Adele for your DPM.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, you can give that a try, and also if you just know the number, you can practice a few different things and see if it makes any difference, right? Or if you have different rings. I don't know if you've already gotten some Oz rings, some Boss rings.
No, I only have like the
Roar
Control.
1.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Country.
Continuously.
Continue.
Okay. Okay. Oh, they'll probably be better than on a boss fight like the Black Mage, I would guess. But you could do a BA with either one, right? And see if there's a difference or not. So that's a good thing a good way to check if your hunch on that is right or wrong. Because if I have to now, is the continuous 4 going to be continuous 3 going to be better than your what else do you have, like a 21-star ring or something on the 4th slot?
No, I don't have a good 4th one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well then it's definitely going to be better, right?
Yeah.
Better than nothing. Okay. So that situates it a little bit where you are when it comes to bossing and playing. And leveling wise, are you mostly like daily, doing dailies, or do you train a little bit on a weekly basis? How does that work?
I do like half an hour every day, or try to. And then if I feel like it, I throw a walk once a week or something, twice.
Okay.
Whatever feels right.
And when it comes to your total like income, with you've got some bossing mules going, right?
Yeah, I have. Let's see. I think it's like around 10 bill a month, or slightly less, maybe 8.
Wait, per month or per week?
Per week.
Per week, yeah.
I think it's around that.
Yeah. A lot of strength characters, I see.
Yeah, that's happens.
The theme. It just ends up working out like that, I know.
Yeah. And I wanna do a hero next, so.
Oh, there you go. You're gonna keep it in the family.
Oh yeah, actually had a question about that. What do you think of like I got a Kaiserium on the Paladin. What do you think about job changing it to hero?
Well, do you like the Paladin, or do you not really like it?
I like the Paladin. I like it a lot, and that's why I thought I would change this one to hero, and then on the next hyper burn, I would burn a Pally to 260, and I would actually push him further than this one, because the hero I only like as a boss mule, and he would stay around that level.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you have another hero that you would then switch on hyper burn?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, so you started that from scratch. I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound like a horrible idea. If you don't really have any plans of leveling this guy any further anyway. Like if it was a hero, but you would like to dedicate the hyperburn. I mean, there's always the price of the nodes though, right? That you shouldn't forget. Like you have to pretty much completely redo the nodes. That's usually a bit of a sticky situation for people. And like the secondary you have to remake. So I don't know how invested you are in like a good secondary and how many nodes it has, but if you're okay with paying that cost, then that doesn't seem like a horrible idea, no?
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Because the hero is fine as a boss meal for sure, yeah. Especially, well, once you have the crit rate sorted, right? Like they have good IED, their crit rate is pretty bad, but
yeah,
the legion that you have and the
20 IED in our ability.
Yeah, you should be fine. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's a one-time cost. So you're paying for secondary, you're paying for nodes, you're paying for the change itself. Have you given it some thought what you're going to do with the Kaiserium, like how you're going to approach that?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, you just got to make it 17. Are you going to transfer hammer? Are
Yeah,
you going
probably
to
17
gamble?
now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what some people do is they go for the pencilers and they try to get it up to 21 or 22 and then transfer hammer it into the Kaisarium to get a high star Kaisarium. But that'd be up to you.
I think about it.
Mm-hmm. It'll totally depend on how much you want to do with the character, right? If you were like Lotus Damien, you know, and then everything below, and that's good enough.
I mean, I think in the very long run, I might push him to hard Lotus, but not further than that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 21. We'll see.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I would almost then the other situation of just burning the hero and leveling this guy up as he is would almost be better, right? Because then if you're gonna end up with like a 250 and a 260, or if you're gonna do hard lotus, you probably want to get him to 60 as well, right? Get the origin. That makes the boss fight a whole lot easier, I can tell you.
Yeah.
From experience with my fire poison. Because then you're saving yourself the cost of the job change and of the nodes and of the secondary, but then the Kaisarian would be on the other character. But ultimately, I think Kaisarian is cool, but if you're going to go that far, you're probably going to go into High Star Abzo or, you know, basic Arcane or High Star Kaisarian would all be roughly around the same area. But you can always use the Kaisarian as an anvil, right? And make it look like the Kaisarian, but actually get the damage from the other pieces that might be easier to do. Because really, the main reason why Kaisarian could be that good is, you know, the base attack, but then really to capitalize on that, you kind of have to do like 22 pencil or transfer hammer into it to get it to 21 to make sure that it maintains that value compared to other pieces that might be coming in, like Arcane Weapon or a High Star Abzo that'll also be relatively easier to make.
I see.
So there's some thought. Yeah, but both are, I don't think, bad options, honestly. But if you think that eventually you'll walk the character up like into the 250s and maybe towards 260 as well, then you're kind of like losing again on the value that you'd be gaining now, relatively, right? But if you have like 6,000 nodes lying around, then you might as well do it. Like, who gives a shit? But I don't think you do.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, so nodes are a more rare resource there, right?
Yeah, I'm still like trying to max everything on the Adele.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'd be careful just transferring, because then, I mean, it's possible that, you know, even with like 200 nodes or 100 or 200, you can get him back to where he is now, and then it's no big deal. But yeah, think about it really carefully about, you know, what the value is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a product for now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a...
Yeah, you still have until Hyperburn, yeah. It's like 3 months, right? Yeah. Okay. But hopefully that gives you a little bit more... a better way of thinking about it. A little bit more arguments for pro and con. But yeah, I could tell you yes or I could tell you no, but ultimately it's your decision. You have to live with it, right? Not that it's that dramatic, but... okay. Well, I mean, you had a question there. Did you have anything else written down? Because, I mean, you've been playing the game for a while, and you've been seeing probably way too much of my content as well, so you already know for some things how I will feel about it. And how the hell do you have a 40% the boss familiar, bro? Gimme. Oh, you needed boss 40 too.
I didn't even know it's that rare.
Yeah, no, it's not rare.
It's happened.
You want to see how rare it is? See what that guy calculated. Expected cost of just 40%. I think he wrote that down, of just 40%. Boss or AD or attack, big copy. No. Oh, I only wrote the boss 30 plus. That unique is 50,000. I don't know how. What? Fuck off, dude. Is it we use cookies and you click continue and then they take you to a different website? I don't want to go to a different website. And then you go back. You have to F5. No, it's still there. Love this website. Great website. But yeah, that's really nice. So you're using IED.
Oh,
Boss,
yeah, I did have
big
another
idea.
question.
Yeah.
Well, so about the drop gear
Mm-hmm.
or meso drop gear,
Yeah.
do you think I should start going for uh, like double lines? Because right now it's kind of fucking stuck.
Yeah. Is that that's the picture with all of the stuff here grouped together? They're all one line?
Yeah, yeah. Everything is one line, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you got 5 with meso, 9 with drop, and that's.
So like I have 4 rings with drop, 1 with meso,
Mm-hmm.
because when I have the pendant of spirit, I use the
Mm-hmm.
meso one,
Yeah.
and then like yeah, 2 meso, 2 drop, 2 meso, 2 drop,
So you
and
got
I'm missing 1 e-ring for the double drop, and then I'll have max drop.
4 rings, drop, 1 with meso, 2 meso, 2 drop pendants, 2 meso, 2 drop face, and and then 1. Oh, 1 meso earring.
Yeah, so
But
I'm
it should be.
missing 1 e-ring with double drop, and then I'll have max drop.
Wait, but if you have 2 pendants that are meso and an eye and a face that are meso and a ring, then couldn't you just make the earring drop?
So when I have
Because a spirit
the
pendant?
pendant of yes, but
Yeah,
in
okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I see. So one of the pendants is free then, basically.
uh yeah, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I just use it for drop when I break the box.
Yeah, but
And the meso
you're only
one,
going to use 1 meso
yeah,
pendant.
the meso one is free, yeah.
So 1 meso pendant could be re-rolled, right? Well, just to
Yeah.
see for the possibility. So going for that is definitely, there's a time where that's a good idea to settle that. Oh, it's that 1 pendant that's not locked, right, with the blue. Yeah, I see now. That is definitely a thing. But one thing that would be good, and I did add it later, not yet, but I did add it recently into the coaching thing on like which information I want, is to do like relevant BAs for content that you're coming up on. Because if your BA right now is like, well, we can kind of do a guesstimation, I guess, based on your stats and everything. Yeah, 42, 93, 4, 305.
Oh, the stat window is missing my fam.
FAMs? Yeah, because I see the boss damage is black and not red here.
I'll tell you how much it is. Well,
Yeah, you're already 270, and your Hexa. Oh, that's not too bad. You got all the expensive ones at 10. Got a stat max, so now you can start slamming the levels again. Oh, isn't... Oh, I thought Infinity Blade would be higher. Well, that's kind of like the thing as well with it if you're trying to make like BA weight, I guess, since it's like a fight. For certain boss fight, it might go a little bit harder on the specific bursting skills, right? But since it's more DPM for BA, I guess it's not as required. It's more like if you're doing like Kalos and Kaling, like heart splits and stuff like that. Yeah, so we can do it with there. I'd just like to see all the other equips as well, right? Just to kind of see where the whole account is at, so you can we can more accurately check if it's right now the moment to do that, or if there's like some serious other gains that could be made instead. We've got an old transposed Sweetwater pendant. Okay, so you don't need extra Gollux there. So all of the Gollux, all of the Dominators are fodder up. Got some projects done here. That's nice. So are you still getting dineros?
I haven't been. No, been slacking. Uh, it was. How bad would it be if I just ignore that, like that
Um,
content?
so not too bad. If you hit like on a daybreak pendant, if you're doing Hilla and stuff, but you're doing that one with a party, so you're probably gonna have to split that ring. And I don't know if you're going towards Saren already, which you probably can start thinking about that if your sacred power is up to speed.
Sacred is
Not
the
yet, no.
140.
Yeah, not yet. Because P2 is 200. That's the one you want to look for.
Yeah, well, when I get to 70, it's gonna be
Mhm.
faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Get to
Once you get like 170,
280.
180, then people start looking for that. Because that's where the daybreak planets come from. But if you do that in a big party and everyone wants them, well, now you're in the back foot, right? So what I would advise in this situation, what I think makes the most sense, is keep getting the dineros. Try to get this planet at least to 19, but maybe to 21. That way you can have a really strong pendant and you don't need to get the daybreak as quickly. And then when you do get the daybreak, that means you can go all out and tap 22 or nothing on it, because otherwise it wouldn't be a replacement. And then when it is a replacement, now you'll have a really strong 19 or 21 Sweetwater pendant that can now become a really strong hybrid drop or meso piece, so it can keep giving you damage all the way through the later stages of the game. And that's what I want most of your pieces to become, the drop pieces. Because I did what you were talking about. I did that, but because I was a little bit further in the game when those things were relevant, was make my stuff into double drop, double meso stuff. But then, basically, because pitch happens and things switch in positions, you get way stronger accessories that kind of become unemployed in your inventory, that you can then, if you had drop a meso on those instead, they would help you way more in terms of damage to keep training in the higher level areas with drop a meso gear on and maintaining all your rates. So what you want to avoid is doing the work twice, basically, since it is expensive to make double primes, right? I mean, it's not super duper expensive, but it's probably like 6-7 bill a pop at least. So if you're going to make 8 of those, you're very quickly looking at the 50, 60, maybe up into 70 bill range. Having to do that twice is, of course, not desirable. So if there are some pieces that are close to maybe being replaced, you want to maybe hold back on those a little bit. And definitely not prioritize those as being like double lined. If there's stuff that you could, so that's kind of what you want to look at. Like, what is the next step? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
For the regular equips, right? Because if their logical step is to be replaced with the next drop that comes up, then you don't want to make a very expensive drop or meso piece for that slot, and then as soon as it switches, now, yeah, you'll feel like now I have all the damage on this one and the drop on the other one. Wish I could combine that into one, right? It would be helpful to be honest. This matrix is filling up. Oh yeah, the matrix is looking good.
Yeah, I'm only missing Storm.
A few levels
and
here.
like conversion overdrive, like that.
Yeah. That one's nice because it lasts a little bit longer. I like it for mobbing too, just to throw it in because it can explode some stragglers along the way if you forget one.
Yeah.
And the extra nodes for the plummet coming up, or?
Oh no, that's not plummet. That's for Shardbreaker.
Gotcha.
Plummet is on Brain of Destruction.
Oh yeah, it's part of the other one, right? Yeah. You're right.
It's for Impale, Rush, and Shardbreaker.
Yep. Gotcha. Just kill Ursus faster.
Yeah, true.
I guess they don't activate during Ursus probably. If you Matrix rip on there. Okay, so let's see where the equips for like the whole account are at then. Alright, write this down. Okay, so there's definitely some, because I see you're here visually 93 ID, but you have the extra 30 and the extra 15 that you use, right?
And then I also have the SAM, which is like 30 and 15. So it's like 95 visually.
6.8, 3.4. No wait, 6.8. 30% off. Is 18 is 20.2.04, 95.24, 4.76, 15% is 6.7.
Yes, wait, I can just
Point
tell you.
67, so like 95.9.
Yep, exactly.
95.91, right?
Yep,
Wait, is that exactly right?
exactly right.
Maths, dude. Okay, and then you have your Grave Pact, which is 10%.
Yep.
And your Noble Summons,
And Noble.
not always, but like has a debuff as well on it, right?
Yeah, another 10.
Yeah, okay.
And
And boost nodes
then
and everything.
Weapon Aura.
Weapon Aura, yes. What is that, 12%?
16.
16?
16.
Yeah, that goes up when you level, right? Yeah. And that's a pretty good uptime. Not 100%, but that's really good uptime. Okay. So because there's two things at play, right? One is that your Legion is not 8k yet, so you don't have the Legion block there filled yet. So you're missing out on 24% there on top of a 16. So that will be pretty big. And there's still like a level, at least one, maybe two, that you can level up in your hyperstats next. That's kind of cheap. And if you can build up IED on an existing source, that's always more efficient than coming from a new source, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's the same percentage. Because I'm looking at that secondary and I want to do something with that, right? Like
Yeah, it was I have another one which is like just 2-line attack.
Mm-hmm. Which is better for mobbing.
Yeah, I use that for mobbing, and
Mm-hmm.
this one it was like two attack too. So I got the 3-line and I skipped it.
Yeah, for bossing it's pretty much always better, yeah.
I have another one that I keep rolling with Fuse that I get from bosses.
Yeah, so you had a unique one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying to get.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. To do that on the side. Because that is, and I mean, if it's necessary, that might be like a big investment that we jump into because we want that. There's a lot of potential damage there, right? Even just like 2 attack, 1 boss would already be pretty big damage increase. But again, in this situation, it's looking like even with the FAMs, that the ID from the Legion is kind of wanting. Or, what you could do in the meantime is if you do hit, like, let's say 2-line attack on line boss or 3-line attack or something crazy like that on the secondary, you can always just switch your Legion for now and move the boss damage to the ID instead, right? And then that will be better for your damage output with that new secondary if you hit it. And then as your Legion grows, you just start filling up the boss damage again. Because you have a little bit more boss damage because you have a line on your weapon and you have an extra big one in the fam, right? So relatively the boss damage is going to lose a little bit of power there then compared to the attack if you hit attack. So that'll be a lower priority than IED. Sorry, yeah, I guess that boss damage loses value compared to IED there if you would switch to familiars. So until you have the 8k Legion, you can use that as a way to balance out whatever roll you get. But ideally, you're working towards 8k. I mean, we got an event coming up, right?
Yeah,
with a lot of free levels and a lot of free potions. So I imagine that you can be like 7.3 or something, or going towards 7.4 after that. If you dive into that, that'll help quite a bit with the raid power as well. But your Legion coins are healthy, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, Emblem, that'll be a project after them. I have to see everything else. Yeah, because I saw some 21s. So you're not a big fan of Commercy, I take it.
No.
How weird. Everyone loves that content, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's number one favorite.
Fucking love it.
Love that, yeah. Some of the other stuff is really nice. 5 mark superior, like I like all these 21s. 20 superior, that's fine too. It's just like the belt. Did you have the backups? Yeah, you have. Oh, you have one belt backup.
Yeah. Guess what blew up?
The belt, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in that situation, I would start saving up pink bean belts and reinforced belts now.
Yeah, I started saving up. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
And then just
today.
do the same as the superior pendant, right? Just go for a 20. But I would do the transfer into... Wait, you have one spare belt, right? Or do you have one total belt now?
I have one spare. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So if
had
you...
3. I just
Yeah,
tried to
okay.
21.
Yeah, on the existing one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so usually what I advise, if you have like 2 or 3, what I would advise is to make a 21 fodder, put it into a different 20 belt than the one that you're equipping, so you don't have to redo the potential, and try to tap that one to 21. And if that fails, then you could do that again, and then if that fails, you can make a third 21 and then tap it into existing one, and then have a 20 guaranteed, basically. But I'll give you 2 chances, 20 to 21, on other belts. If even one of them goes, then you can just switch potential to that one, and then your 17-star belt with legendary, and with a flame on it, will actually become a backup for 21 to 22 later. Because that way, if you fail 20 to 21, then you can still just use your existing belt, and you don't have to like restart from 12 to 17, which you would have to if you would do a 21 into it, and then you have to redo your pod as well if it boomed, right?
Yeah.
So that way you kind of like make sure that the most negative outcome is way less negative, and that the most positive outcome is basically the same. The only difference is it'll be a rare item instead of an epic item. That's like the only... or no, probably no, it'll be rare in both cases, yeah. So you won't really even lose anything on the upper end, but you will gain on the lower end.
Cool.
But you can still do that because you have one more backup, so yeah, you can get plenty of belts. Just 30% off coming up next week, right? So you can just send them. You can do normal daily and do chaos weekly, and you can just send them. If you don't have enough belts, then you can also wait until 5 and 15, so you don't boom too many. You make it a better chance. But yeah, I would like to see, even with like just 1 or 2 backups, you could probably realistically get the Sweetwater Pendant up to 19. That's pretty free, and then maybe stop there as like a budget, because then you have already a really strong placeholder for the Daybreak Pendant. Just don't underestimate 17 to 19 gains, because it's relatively cheap on items like that, and it's relatively free. Of course, I have to choose my words. I can't say it's always going to happen, but there's a very good chance that it goes up to 19. And it's significant gains, so it'll help you make sure that when you get a Daybreak, like what do you do with a Daybreak? Do you try to get it to 19 and then tip this one anyway? Or, you could do that as well, I guess. If you get a Daybreak and if it goes to 19, see if you can get this one to 19, and if it goes, you get the Daybreak to 21, right? And kind of use them to walk each other up, so you have a backup. You could do that as well. Whatever is more your style. Yeah, so you could do that, right? If you can get your hands on a Daybreak to kind of like walk them up evenly. Does that strategy make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try that.
Yep. And then yeah, Slime Ring is tricky. You're soloing Slime now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can you can get all
I
of those.
I think I just send it like what? Straight up or?
Yeah, probably, yeah. The idea of having the superior, the transfer and everything, that made sense when we had barely no ability to clear the boss, or when you had to do it like 5 or 6 people, so you would, barely see a ring every 2 months or something. So if you're soloing it now, then I would take that like just one at a time, just basically like every time you have the money, every time there's an event, just like try to send it and see if it goes. Probably initially like a 21, right? And then if that goes, you can start committing to that. Or if you want to go 22 all the way to make sure that it's... Because, you're going into the situation where you have a few more projects to work on to like 20 or 21, but then 22s is the next thing, but then your CRA is probably 21? Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. Means you're listening. Or at least picking up. And shoulder, yeah, and then arcanes to 19 is like the next step, basically. Again, that's a lot of gains, but that can be pricey, so that's probably like
Yeah,
a shining.
I tried to
You got one.
roulette my arcanes with like 15 bill, went -1 star.
Yeah. But the glove is up to 19, right?
Yeah, the glove already was 19.
Oh, it was already
but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can end up spending a whole lot of money and not really gaining anything. But it is, if you can get 1 to 18, then that star is always worth more than the one you lose from 17 to 16, right? And that one's easily regained on a 5 to 15. But yeah, so I would only do that on 5 to 15 or shining. Even think about working on that stuff. But it's in pretty good position. Don't expect it to be much better than this. And you've got the double prime there, and a 21 here, 21 and all of that. That looks solid. So you were asking for the for the hybrid gear and everything. Do you feel like you're starting to struggle when you're training to kill the monsters? Or is it just that you have to choose between meso and drop, I guess?
What? Can you repeat?
When you're training, do you feel like you can still kill the monsters well? Is the problem like you feel like you need more damage when you're mobbing? Or is the problem just that you don't want to have to choose between meso and drop rate?
Oh no, right now I kill everything pretty fine. I'm not sure if I will when I get to
Odium?
Odium, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the very highest level ones immediately, although they did, they did adjust the numbers when they adjusted the levels quite a bit, so that was much more forgiving. Let's see, Odium, lowest level area is at 130 sac, so that's already where you're at, right? But the highest ones are at 200, so you definitely won't be able to go to the highest levels immediately.
Yeah, like but also when I'm training, I have like four lines of drop, which feels kind of slightly bad with frags and everything.
Yeah, if you feel like there's a good amount of money incoming from bossing mules, then you'd rather be in like full drop rather than in drop and meso combination. But I do understand like the urge to start making the hybrid stuff. Yeah, the thing just I guess you're more like a slow and steady person, right?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, same like my my arc was. So it might not be the wrong move to work into hybrids and then slowly, because yeah, the time that you're gonna get like pitched and that it's gonna be 22 and replacing your stuff, that might take like another year and a half or something, right? And then by then your hybrids now will have already earned themselves back with all the hours you put in, plus the extra fragments and everything, and it will have been worth it probably, yeah, pretty much, yeah, probably, to to make that set and to capitalize on it and then move on to the next one with those stronger pieces, kind of like phase them out one at a time as you do get something that gets replaced by a pitched or a or daybreak or just some kind of higher level accessory. But where do you slot it in and where do you plan what? Yeah, that's the main problem now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we do this in a smart way? So if I remember, let me just double check the numbers, but it's like 6.5 bill on average with brights, I think, to get a hybrid piece. 2 lines evolving. Up to. Oh, so it's even less. Oh, wow, it's way over. 3.7 on average. Oh, okay, that brings down the cost significantly. I thought it was closer to 6. Okay, so it's only a little bit over half. Okay, well, I mean, median, yeah. 75% chance within 5. So I don't know how risk averse you are. Do you tend to look at the average, at the median? Do you look at the percentiles? What works for you?
I usually look at the average and add a little bit and try to add.
Gotcha. So if it's like 3.6, you go to like 4 because that's like 10% extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say 4 each, and we want to make 8, right? Because we want to keep the spirit pendant out. So that's 32 in total. Do we? And you said you made about 10 a week. And how much do you have saved up now?
And now I have 15.
15.
But I
Okay.
still have all the weeklies to do.
Okay. And what was the last project you were working on? Was that the belt?
The last project.
Like where your money?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So we're saving that now. And we can send during the 30% off. See if you hit a 21 on a fodder. If you don't, then you can just get more belts and then use them, and then try again on the 5, 10, 15, right? Because that'll be, what was it, 28th of April, I think? So that's in like 6 weeks. Okay. And then you can try to slime as well. Hopefully you get another 1 or 2 before then. Yeah, I'd like to see you get some more dineros before then. Do you have the dreadnought? Do you have the boat built?
Yeah, I do.
Did? Okay. Yeah, then I would do just the dailies, man. It's just like less than 10 minutes a day, but you get like 40 dineros a day. Between now and like the 5, 10, 15, you should have enough to just confidently tap it up to 21. That'll be a lot of damage. I don't know if I can show you on this one. I think I only have my 22 here. But yeah, my transpose 22, yeah. But that's like 100 attack and 246 main stat with all stat. Yeah, it's like 66 extra attack. So for you, it'll be like 50-ish extra attack. And like 80, 70 stat. It's a lot. I think that's worth it. Because then, once you hit that, then you can really say, like, I'm never doing... you know, because you have 21 Twilight Mark, you've got the Black Bee Mark already. Like, that's really the last thing for Commercy for this character. And then you really are not going to need it at all anymore. Or if you, boom a few times and you want to settle on 19 instead, or you end up back at 17, like, that's... it is what it is. But I would do, like, one last hurrah at Sweetwater and see if you can squeeze some more out of that pendant. Because it's got that legacy vibe, so it can help you. And then if it does go and it end up getting replaced, then you can always... it'll just give you so much more freedom. But it'll give you so much more purpose when you get a daybreak that you can just go full 22 or nothing on it. You don't have to worry about, do I settle on 19, do I settle on 20, do I settle on 21, right? So I would do that for like this one last. Unless you absolutely, fucking hate it, then stop immediately. And then you can do the strategy where we just walk it up with the daybreak, right? When you get it. Or when there's an event after you get it. That's what I would advise. Then belts, and then yeah, that'll make sense. Everything is pretty much 2-line, so basically you want, all of your other money, we want all of it to go to cubing. Pretty much. Like, 1 star on the shoulder or whatever. But the arcanes don't have to come now. I think best thing would be to just keep running your bosses, see if you can get some arcane backups. And then, like, Shining in the summer, try to go, like, super hard on the arcanes. And they basically get all 19. And CRA to 22, like, aim that for the Shining, I would say. So, like, I don't know, like, end of June, July, probably somewhere.
Okay.
And then basically all the money I would dedicate towards cube sale. Try to get your hybrid sets on your current pieces. And any money you have left there, try to start working on like 2.5 line potential. Basically what your Twilight Mark has, right? Try to start working for that stuff. And just down the order. So first, do you know the order for efficiency for cubes?
Just like accessories or something? No?
Well, like basically where the cubes have the highest chance of giving the same stats for you.
No. Oh, the heart is first, right? And then like accessories.
Yeah.
Shoulder.
I believe Shoulders up there, yeah. Yeah, it gets a little bit muddy for me as well there in the middle. You've got like shoulder, and then I think it's like... I think it's shoulder and cape, and then I think it's shoe and pants, and then it's top and hat last, something like that, yeah. And for hat, I think there is some value in cooldown reduction for you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, have you looked into that on what the... Because I'm not up to speed on the very latest Adele, like 1 cooldown, 2 cooldown, 3 cooldown, 4, like what the value is between those.
They said like four cooldown is the best, and then if you hit all stats, like I mean 33 or whatever, 36, you can keep that.
Then you can skip
and
the 4-second?
Yeah, they said it's like
close
almost
enough.
Equivalent.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever you get first is fine.
Okay. Alright, yeah. So you could basically see a line of 2-second cooldown as a line of stat, roughly. But it's a little better, but it's roughly the same.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, then I'll probably... Yeah, then for the hat, I'd probably elect to use bright cubes. But for everything else, I'd use glowing, right? Sorry, for the hat and for the hybrids, right? For the hybrid accessories. You're looking for double prime, and then for everything else, glowing. So I'd first go ham on bright, basically, right? Because you can make the most gain there. Try to see if you can get close to a set ready. So you're looking at, there should be about 25% off. So if you're saying 4 each, so that'd be 3 each and 8 items. So something like 24, 25 bill is probably what you want to save up at least for the accessory blob. So that's at least 2.5 weeks of saving for that. And we expected probably somewhere in May, right? So there's still plenty of money you can spend now. You can pretty much zero out under 30% off and under 5, 10, 15 to try to get your project for your pendant, your slime ring, and your belt, and your shoulder, I guess, to see if you can get that done. Just do that at the right event, right? So most of it on the 5, 10, 15 in April. But I would save up the mezzo so you can go do that for the double stuff, and then sorry, for the hybrids. Try to be clear. And then any bright cubes you have left, you can go on the hat, see if you can hit something there. We can see how much that would be on average. Hat. I know that hitting cooldown reduction plus stat is ridiculous. Let's see. If you hit 27 on the hat, that would be most likely what happens. 6.6 bill. See, that's more expensive than... it's almost 2.5 times a hybrid accessory. That's wild, right? Yeah. And that's just hitting 27% stat.
Yeah, and then my arc gets like a 30 plus when I try to get 1 line cooldown reduction.
Of course. Yeah, 4-second reduction is like 36, and 33% is... Oh, 33% on the hat is 93. 15. Yeah. So I think what you want to hit is if you can hit like 2-second reduction and a line of stat at least. That's 1.1. Yeah, we can go higher than that. And this is like impossible immediately. That's 12. 3 and a line of stat. That's what I have on my fire poison. That's not realistic. I think what you'll end up with is like... What you probably want to end up with is either 27 or 3-second reduction. Or...
Oh yeah, for 3 seconds they said it's bad, and in 2 seconds with a line stat is better.
It's because it doesn't line up with the cooldowns you have right now.
I imagine so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or 2-line, but not with 1-line stat, but with like 1.5 line stat, right? So like if you can get...
Oh yeah, 2-line stat, yeah.
Yeah, because...
-2 with 2-line stat.
Yeah, because, well, that's... Yeah, and that's more in the 12 bill range. But I don't think you'll hit like 2 seconds and 18%, but more like 2 seconds and like 15%, right? If you can hit that, I think that's what you want to aim for.
Yep.
Or 4, of course. You know, if you hit 4, then that's great. But 4 is hard to hit because -1 is also prime line, right? So it's just, yeah, gets all funky. Or 30. I think if you hit 27 or 30%, you keep that as well for now. And you can always come back later to like readjust it with bright cubes, right? There's no immediate. Because I think the other thing you want to do is get most of your stuff then with glowing cubes and get it up to 2.5 line. So, like you said, hard first, then accessories, then like basically all of the armors there on the bottom right, and then work your way up to the CRA. But the hat will have slightly higher prio with bright cubes because of the potentiality for the cooldown reduction and stuff, and how much that it will impact your damage more. It's kind of like a glove 2.0 now, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then it's max saving up until Shining in the summer, and then the big projects, basically anything that's then not 21 yet, we're going to see if you get it from 20 to 21. So after the next 2 star forcing projects, you want to see like keep doing enough Halux so you can have like superior backups, for example, right? So you can, with relatively low risk, try to get that to 21. That's going to be a bit spookier, right? Maybe the belt, if that ends up at 20, right? Then maybe as well that one from 20 to 21. But there's no super priority there. It's more like try to go for the backups by then. If you have them, you can try it. And if you don't have them, you just keep at it and do it next time, right? But what will be more likely, the project for Shining will be Arcanes up to 19 and the CRA up to 22. That'll already be expensive and will be massive. See if we can make kind of like an estimation on what that will cost. If you do that during Shining, 20 or 22, that's going to be a very wide distribution, right? Because and you're using the you were the sneaky guy who was not using the Star Force map, right?
Was I? Oh, like yeah, because I forgot to.
Okay. I thought you were like using your own sneaky spot that you weren't sharing with us with super luck. No safeguard. 30. Yeah, average cost 2.6. So let's take 3s again, each for CRA. So that's only like 9 bill. 9 bill for CRA. And then the arcanes. This will be spookier. With safeguard. Same. Yeah, it looks more like 4.5. 4.5-ish for 4, because they're not doing the weapon, right? Do you have any weapon backups? I forgot to check that.
No, not yet.
Not yet. If you got 1 or 2, you can also try that one. Because basically, once you're going past 15, whether it's your weapon or your glove actually gains more attack than your weapon, right? Past 15, which is kind of strange. But the glove is already 19, so that's good priority. But you want to get them all to 19 because it's like 10, 20, 30 attack on each one of them, 4 times, 120 attack. You know, it just gets crazy if you're compounding that stuff. So it looks like 4.5 at least. Let's say on 4 items for now, you know, and if you don't get all of them by then it's fine. But that's something like 18 bill. The other one was like 9, right? So, you know, on the top end, like something around 30. So that's really only like 3 weeks of saving specifically for that. But the more money you have there, the more likely that you can also do some of the other projects, right? So maybe Dependent, maybe you need another Slime Ring attempt by then, right? Maybe it didn't go the first time, probably not. If you got some saved up, maybe you've got a belt or 2 that dropped as backup and you get to 21. But I think you should be able to pretty closely get to like everything 21, CRA 22, Arcanes 19, by like Shining. And then, yeah, I mean, then, well, hopefully before then, but at least by then, like Saren will start becoming kind of a joke. Probably already like clearing E-Kalos for a while, probably moving into E-Kaling, that kind of stuff. And level-wise, you want to be past 275, like going, yeah, just like 275-ish around there, and just starting to go past that. So you have another area, more sack. Yeah, and then if you get pitched, then you can, yeah, start phasing out the pitch for or whatever hybrid piece you have, and then the pitch becomes your damage piece, and whatever damage piece you had at that time becomes like a stronger drop or meso piece, and then you one at a time switch them out.
Right.
Do you feel like we forgot something in that plan, or is there anything there? Or we have because I guess emblem is a little bit in between, right?
Oh yeah,
Like if you end up finishing like with all the stuff we're saying, like most of the stuff is 2.5 line, and you still have money left. Because again, if you look at the cost of everything, it's not that crazy, and there's still quite a lot of weeks in between. So if you keep it up and you save your money, you'll actually have quite some buffer. You could also say like I'll probably go ham on the secondary first, right, to see if you can squeeze in like a 2-attack 1 boss, because that feels like a more realistic thing to aim for. Secondary, because you do it with glowing on a second one, right?
Yeah.
2 attack, 21 attack, 30 boss specifically. That's 36 bill, but you'll probably end up with 1 line, 2 line attack and 1 line boss. That's about half. That's about 17 bill. So it's more expensive, but it's gonna confer a lot bigger damage increase. I'd probably do this right after like 2.5 lining most of your stuff. Maybe before moving into the CRA, because that's going to be disproportionately a bit more expensive. So probably do the heart and the accessories, and then work on the secondary. Yeah. But there's plenty of weeks, so if you have like, and then you still have like 40 or 50 bill, you could say, and then I'm gonna do the emblem. The question there is a little bit more like, how much closer are you to Saren at that point? There's still a lot of value, because you could still hit quite a few numbers. Like, what's kind of likely gonna happen is that your secondary hits, your emblem hits something like 21 attack and 30 IED, or 40 IED, 35 IED, and 18 attack. Which doesn't look better than what you have now, but it probably is, because it means you can more freely reroll the secondary, not have to worry about the IED, and even settle there on 2 boss 1 attack, which gives you another out, and which could give you cheaper like budget increases, right? And then that also means that money, again, you'll have like budget solutions, far from perfect looking, but that'll be good enough to get you to Saren, and then once you get the Saren emblem, then you can go ham on that one, because you're keeping that forever, basically. So don't discard like the possible like kind of budget solutions. Really look at the potential of your weapon and your secondary and emblem as one big blob that are just trying to, offset what your kit is missing. And right now, because of the Legion and everything, there's still some IED missing, but the secondary is making up for it now. But it'd be better if the emblem can make up for it, because then you can roll more boss on a secondary without it being punished for it.
Right.
So if you had, because that could be very cheap as well, right? Because if you do emblem and you're just trying to like 3 line or nothing, that's pretty straightforward. That's just that's 33. That's a little bit too much. It's like 40. So even if you add a little bit, like 44, 45. But like with cube sale, it's just a little bit over 30 usually. So that's not a crazy amount, right? That's just 3 weeks of saving for you. That's not insurmountable. But if you would be okay with 2-line attack, 2-line attack with 1-line attack or IED. Wait, what? So either 3-line attack or 2-line attack IED, I guess? Yeah, that's like 8 bill on average. Including that. So it doesn't have to be, a lot of people look at this number and it's like, yeah, that's the goal, right? But like 21 attack and IED is already like, that's half the cost. 18 attack and IED, that's half of that, Now you're looking at a quarter of the cost. And you still have something that would be an upgrade compared to what you have now. So there's plenty of outs. And what you can also do is say like, okay, I'll take like 35 IED and 2-line attack, kind of like the ugliest 3-line in the world, right? And then you can go over through the secondary, see what the secondary rolls. and then maybe that one rolls like, one line attack, or 2-line attack, 1-line boss. Maybe you're like, oh, now I'm kind of done, and now you have a whole bunch of cubes left. You could go back to the secondary if you wanted to. Just always confer back with the cubing, like with the cost, and just see like, is this a realistic thing? Is this a risk I want to incur right now?
Right.
But I think probably at that point, what I would do is go to like the armors and go to the CRA and try to get their 2.5 line. That's probably what I would do after that. And if after that you have money left and a whole bunch of cubes left, then you can always try to come back and improve them. But you'll get a lot of value out of just that third line doing something that it's not doing right now. Do those orders make sense for you?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, just double checking, because I don't know if you were here yesterday, but I did the whole thing with my mom and set everything up, and we went over it 3 times. And then yesterday I was like, so how did the cubing go? She's like, I didn't do any cubing yet. You said for the cubing I have to wait for the event, but the star forcing I could do anytime. I'm like, I would never say that. I said it the other way around. So it turns out she spent 50 bill on star forcing to try to get a 22 arcane shoe that blew 3 times off event. So, I'm trying to do my best, but somehow it always comes in jumbled. But, we're working on it. But she has up like 22 Superior Pendant now, 22 Shoe, 22 Twilight Mark, and I think a 22 Superior Pendant and a 21 Sweetwater. I don't know. She ended up doing all of that for within 50 bill, and she still has 70 bill left. So it's like, okay, you do what you want to do, Mom. It's just frustrating for me that I thought this time, we got it right, and then such a crucial detail ends up like, and there's next week there's a 30% off. So if you're spending 50 bill, that means you could save 15 bill if you do it on a 30% off instead, right? Well, as long as you don't believe in like dynamic rates or stuff like that, but that's the whole other can of worms.
Mom has her own timeline.
Yeah, for sure. Every time I'm asking, like, Mom, how much money do you have? You have like 100 bill, and then she looks at her inventory. 110. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Because she's just going. She just keeps doing, but she doesn't really spend it on anything. So unless I look over her account and say, like, this and this and this needs improvement, and you want to do this and this, then she just doesn't really do anything. She kind of just does little things here and there, but, okay. That clears up the upgrade path for the future. Your question with the drop and the meso stuff. The orders of things. Sweetwater. Is there anything left that you're wondering about?
Let's see.
Talked a little bit about bossing mules. I don't know if you had any... Yeah, with the hero and the paladin. So ultimately that's your decision, but hopefully you have a little bit more context on that now. Coins looks good. I guess you have 2 little blocks in your Legion grid that are dying to be IED right now, at least. So I would move those over. And the 1 block of normal monster damage. Yeah, those Legion pieces are growing, so you gotta get those tumors out of there and get them into the ignore defense.
I'll do that when I finish the event. To fix all of that.
Yeah, there's probably got to be a lot of stuff moving, and then just fix it all in one go. That sounds like a better plan. Yeah. Maybe make the solution already of like what you want to reach, and then you have a goal of like which levels to reach in the event or something. I don't know what'll be realistic though. There's a lot of growth potions though. You have quite a few characters probably still under 200, right?
Yeah.
You have some 141s left, or are they more like 170s?
No, there's a lot of like 150s, 140 something.
Yeah, okay. So
most of them, I pushed them on like the last one.
Oh, the strawberry farm. Yeah. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, so now they're prepared for the next push.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the V-Matrix is looking really good. Yeah, I guess Hexamatrix, now you're done with the stat, you're going to go through with the... Do you just like divide evenly between cleave and...
I think now I'm supposed to get cleave to 15 or 19, and then
Yeah,
then
like
Infinity
Maestro,
and
Infinity Maestro.
Origin.
Yeah,
Yeah, both of them.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, the DPM you can't really. You can only underestimate, I think, the DPM from the Mastery Core. Yeah. Because every single skill mentioned is like 2 skills as well, right? So it's like 6 skills boosted, basically. It's a really
Yeah,
solid
like
Mastery Core that you got.
I started using like the manual magic dispatch.
Okay. Have you noticed
And
difference
it's
with
like
that? Like, starting to do
yeah,
that?
it increases like by like 10 by like 2% in a boss fight.
Okay. So 2% points more of your DPS, of your DPM, than automatic. Like,
Yeah,
instead of it being like, I don't know, 5% of your damage is like 7% of your damage, for example.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I know I should do it on my arc too for the Vengeful. God, dude, all these edgy names. Was it Vengeful Hate or something like that? Yeah, Vengeful Hate. We like activate those orbs manually, because manually automatic it only does up to 8, and then manually does up to 12. So it would do 50% more damage. But sometimes the manual misses when the automatic would hit. Like the automatic sometimes, because of ping delay and stuff, like it tracks the boss. Like it could only hit. It can't activate it and miss. But if you manual, you could miss. So I'd have to look at what is the error margin if I start manualing it. Plus, I have no key on my keyboard. So did you? On Adele, I would imagine you kind of have the same problem, right?
Yeah, I was struggling for keys.
Yeah, I was like, where does this thing
I
go?
I don't even know where would my Jenny go, like, and
yeah, and then we have 5 more skill nodes to come in Hexamatrix, right? Where are those gonna go?
yeah.
Sometimes I look at the Hexa Matrix and I'm like, what are they gonna figure out? Like, the 3 more common skills, 2 more of these.
And
At least we know the boost nodes are done.
Yeah, and all my combo keys is already like I have all of it. So yeah. And I don't have F keys because I use FQS keyboard.
Oh, yeah, we have a smaller keyboard. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I have like 60
like
60% keyboard.
Gotcha. I like how they look. Like aesthetically, they're very cute, but it seems so impractical.
Well, yeah, for this game, yeah.
Subitai. Okay. So is your familiars that's kind of on hold for now until another character?
Familiar.
I guess with Hyperburn, you might make some familiars, and then you can decide if you're going to use them on the Hyperburn or if you're going to use them for your main, right?
Yeah. I do when I can. I do dailies on my Dark Knight.
Okay.
On those areas.
But yeah, you make at most like what 10 familiars a day, even maybe 5. Yeah.
Adds up.
It adds up. That's definitely true. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not.
That's like 200 a month. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I could complain all I want about this, but like this set alone is like 3 times as good as whatever I have on my Demon Avenger. So that I really don't have a like I have 0% boss and 15 IED, a 3% attack, and a 6% HP. That's my bossing setup on the Demon Avenger, and that guy does fine. So this is already above average setup for sure. There's if you look at the min-maxing way, eventually there's like a huge gain to be made there, but that's pretty far down the line. Because you're looking at, with all of the things that we were talking about, you're still looking at possible pitched coming in, right? We're not really accounting for that. We're not really aiming for that. We're hoping, yeah. And there's like the Oz rings that could come in, right? Like Weapon Jump 3 or 4 would be great. Continuous 4 would be better. Roar 3 or 4 would be great. And those are like huge spikes in damage. So keep that in mind as well when you're doing the BA now. It's not just to see like... it could be a little bit confrontational with how low the number might be compared to what you think it will be, but it's a really good measure as well to see how big of an impact your upgrades will be. And since we have some upgrades on the way, I think it'll also be good for your motivation to kind of see that you are making that progress, because every time you make a big upgrade, you can do a BA and you can see like, this is how much damage I got, right?
All right. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely link up with the guys for Black Mage, but put your feelers out in a lot of different spots. I'm going to be doing my run with Andrew. Not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that. On, what was it, Reset -4 on Monday the 25th. So if you feel like you got enough practice in by then, that you can join and you feel like you can survive like a, well, it'd probably only be like a 15-minute run or something, you could definitely hit me up. But my goal is always to make sure that people, you know, if there's like 6 people looking for a carry, but they're all meeting the requirements, I'd want to like push those people to do it together and actually get their own clear. Not because I don't want to take anyone, but because I feel like that's just so much better in terms of like habit forming and just feeling for yourself that you know that you did it rather than you just were along for the ride kind of thing.
yeah, I also kind of prefer that.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
know I did something for the run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's obvious because of what we talked about in the beginning, right? And you doing the soloing the bosses and stuff, which is not necessary at all, but you have a higher level of, I want to make sure that I know that I'm not at least like fucking up, that I know what I'm doing, and that if something goes horribly wrong, there's the least amount of chance that it's my fault, and that, you know, that it can at least look at it that way. So that's good. That's a good general strategy, I think. You don't see it as much. Okay. Did you have anything else written down or anything else come to mind?
No, I don't think. Nope.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So when it comes to the guild stuff, I guess, and Black Mage, it would be. Would you say that it's still a little bit difficult to find parties, or you like that to be in some way a little bit more streamlined?
Not sure what the question is.
Well, I guess maybe some feedback, as you've been in guild for a long time. I don't know if you had some points of feedback for me, or you don't have to say it here if you want to. You can DM it in Discord or something. But I'm always looking for feedback as well, because what sucks is when people are in the guild for a while and then they just leave. I don't really know what to do there, right? I don't know if there's one specific issue they had, and then they thought that another guild did it better. But if people never communicate it, then I don't know what I can fix to keep people around and keep everyone happy. Because, you know, guilds evolve, the people in it evolve, and who's in it evolves. So what the guild should do is not necessarily like, we're just always doing this, and if you don't like it, you leave, but more like the guild can evolve with the people, right? So if you ever have any feedback since you've been in there for so long, just saying, like, in general, you can always reach out.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okie dokie. Yeah, so if you have nothing left, then I guess I'll wish you good luck. Hopefully it was helpful for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And I'll see you around in chat and in game.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, have a good one.
Good night. Or not good night, what?
Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
See ya. All right, that was like the waiter saying "enjoy your dinner," and then you say "you too" as the waiter walks away, just at the end of the exchange. All right. Looking good. Oh, we didn't talk about the upcoming like inner-ability changes, I guess. The inner-ability is always one that comes out like right at the end. But save your honor and wait for the Dreamer to come out and then see what everyone says about inner-ability and to just follow that, okay? So yeah, another one. I guess a third in a row that's over level 270. So a lot of more of you, I think, are in that same position where you've got that Hyperburn 260, you rolled into the 270s, you're like, now what? You know, you're not walking into the same wall anymore as you were before, but now you're just walking into a different wall, right? There's always going to be some part of the journey that you kind of bottleneck into, that you kind of just can't really get by as quickly. But yeah, finding Black Mage parties is it's good skill, you know. Join many Discords, ask many people, put your feelers out there, make friends, do practice runs, check in practice runs who's like on your level in terms of like they're figuring it out in the same way. They've got the same level of eagerness, right? Don't try to party with people who are very, very eager when you don't know exactly like how hard you want to go in terms of practice. And don't join a bunch of people who are kind of like lackluster in their motivation when you want to go really hard, because both of those situations will bring you a lot of frustration. So find people who are on the same level who want it as much as you, basically. On the same level sounds a bit more like, you know, hierarchical and stuff, but people who want it the same amount as you. And preferably people around the same time zone, because if people want a different amount than you and their time zone is different and you have a big disparity in learning speed, bossing parties become very difficult to keep together. And it's not necessary to keep them together, but if you play with the same people longer, you can work out a system, you can build on each other's damage instead of, you know, when it comes to the timing and stuff like that. So it does build like a synergy that you can it's hard to match otherwise. So yeah, if you're in a similar situation or you had a similar question to the person in the session, hopefully that was answered for you. And if not, maybe there is some insight that you can use on your own situation that you didn't even realize was possible. That's good. If you have additional questions, let me know in the chat and or in the messages. In the comments, that's what we call those things down there, that comment. And if you would like to win one of these sessions as well, please leave a comment saying that you would like to win and with your Discord name on it so that I can reach out to you at the end of the month, because I pick 2 winners at the end of every month that get a free session like this. If you don't want to wait for that, check the description of the video or use !coaching over at twitch.tv/Scardor. That's where I stream every day, so you're always welcome to ask questions. That's where we have a lot of the resources available, like these things. You can all find those in the chat. They're available to everyone, even when I'm offline, so feel free to use those. And either I will see you there, and then, you know, we can hang out, or I'll see you in the next video, or click one of these other ones that hopefully show up on the stream right now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, or on stream.